Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. All right, Malcolm Nance is here with us. George Conway finished by saying if this decisions get overturned, it's not going to be on the basis of factual findings. And our friend Harry Littman, just saying, so the Colorado primary ballot is January 5th. The state court state it's holding until the day before that, given further appeal beyond. Ultimately, however, unless the U.S. Supreme Court reverses the Colorado holding, Trump could be barred from the state's ballots. So it seems, Malcolm, like their Supreme Court is definitely going to be forced to act, and soon, right?
Yeah, they're going to be forced to act because, the clock is ticking. And again, what I was saying just before we got we went over to commercial break was this is those moments from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, where the guys who literally sit in the back rooms or literally sit around campfires, and I'm talking about you, Clarence Thomas's puppet master, because there's actually a painting of Harlan Crow and his rich cronies with Clarence Thomas around a campfire that's in Harlan Crow's great den of them making decisions with him.
Yeah.
And this is the question of where real money is going to come out and weigh, are we going to make money with Donald Trump, or is this the time to cut Donald Trump off at the knees?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if even Clarence Thomas, Clarence Thomas is going to do whatever he's ordered to do.
Yeah.
So with, is it 14 days?
Yeah.
They're going to have to do this rapido.
Yeah, muy rapido. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so I was also saying that's the other reason that Republicans are such cowards. Behind closed doors, they're rooting just as hard as we are for this so that they can be rid of him, but not piss off his crazy MAGA base, right?
Maybe. But again, this is really, look, what we think, the crazy MAGA base has an enormous amount of influence.
Yeah.
Because they are the tacit admission, I wrote this in my book. They are the threat behind the crowd. All right? As their little threats of 82 million of us are going to come out with our guns and in multicam and, come out and make our voices heard.
Yeah.
That's a real threat. And the only difference between hardcore conservatives and MAGAistas is that Trump gave them all permission to want to think they could threaten people like that.
Yeah.
But for those people who are on the Supreme Court, in business, they've got to be able to facilitate that threat at the same time, get their interests fulfilled. And if Donald Trump's talking about becoming the new Mussolini, all right, and he's not talking about making them money, then, that 14-day, hearing could go out the window and he could just be off the ballot if the court doesn't pick it up.
Yeah.
So I'm just fascinated to see the money dynamics versus MAGA dynamics at play.
Let's talk Ukraine for a minute because, like I was saying, I don't know why all this, the Russian intelligence and the 2016 binder, it just took me back to, as I was telling you, the only change they made in their platform was about Ukraine at the behest of Paul Manafort, as you wrote about in your first book. I mean, but so here we are where, we're at a critical point, right? And there's no aid, approved for Ukraine.
Well, it's just absolutely amazing to me that people don't remember how all of this began, which is Paul Manafort, who was in the pocket of Yanukovych, Vladimir Putin's puppet in Ukraine, who was pushed out through a people power revolution in 2014, had received tens of millions of dollars to facilitate the transition of Ukraine away from democracy towards a Putin-run dictatorship, and that he was the person that was chosen to be Trump's campaign manager.
Yeah.
And then the entirety of the Trump-Russia scandal unfolded to where, the first question ever asked to Donald Trump by a foreign person was an actual agent of Russian intelligence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just utterly amazing. You have to be picked to have that level of influence.
And even you have to be shocked at how blatant this has gotten, that he's quoting Putin approvingly as a character witness against American democracy. I mean, a couple of days ago.
Look, he was dying. That he had ever read Mein Kampf or any of that stuff yesterday, but tomorrow he'll actually open that book up and start reading it.
Yeah. Well, I do believe he doesn't read anything ever, but he still knows Hitler quotes. That's for sure. Malcolm, so anyway, I don't know what you think is going to happen with Ukraine aid or Ukraine. I mean, I have to hope it is going to get approved at some point, but I don't know. There are Republicans doing Putin talking points. By the way, none of them seem to care where Navalny is. Where is Navalny?
Right.
Right.
Let me give you 2 points of bright light here, 2 points of light here, and then dim it down a bit. First off, I'm going to make this unequivocal. You are not going to hear from anybody else. The last time I've spoken this definitively, I was absolutely positively right. That was before the invasion of Ukraine, where I said the Russians will not win in Ukraine and they will get their butts handed to them, and the Ukrainian army will win this war. I'm going to reiterate that right now. I spent 10 months in uniform, in combat with the Ukrainians. These guys are undefeatable, or indefatigable, if you want to use a big word.
Yeah.
They are Cossacks that cannot be beat. Period. Done. Not joking. All right. You could cut them off of all of our resupply, and they will jury rig whatever they have to do to win this war. They will take the casualties to win this war. We're talking about defeating the main force Russian army. And the CIA has already, and defense intelligence, already determined that Russia already lost every soldier that was in the Russian army in January 2022 is dead, and that they've only replaced those forces with these conscripts and 100,000 prisoners released from jail, and they're getting slaughtered by the hundreds every day. This war will not be lost. All right. Can it be prolonged? Yes. Can Ukraine not retake all of its territory? Yes. But Europe is stepping up. Denmark just gave them $1 billion. Norway's giving them weapon systems without question. The United States, they can wait 30 days, but it won't be. It'll cost them lives.
Yep.
And that's what the Republicans are banking on.
Yep.
They are the traitor class of this country. They've betrayed everything American democracy has stood for, and they work for Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've got 71 million Americans who are like, oh, yeah, that's good. Donald Trump says it's good because we're a cult.
Right. Seth, our homo of hope, you're on with Malcolm. Hi, Seth. Hello.
Good morning, homos, and Jody, who runs the showmo, and Shouty McFace Nomo, sir. Wow, what an honor. So first, I think I might know where that binder is.
Oh.
I think, is it possible it could be hiding in plain sight next to Mitt Romney's binder of women?
There
I think
you
they
go.
might have just put it there so no one will see it. I have some predictions for 2024, but first, if I may, I have to give a shout-out to all the Steph-Mos out there, and Kate from Milwaukee sent me this beautiful Homo of Hope shirt, and online, there was so much Steph-Mo support out there, I cannot tell you. So thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Okay.
From all of our staff.
2020. Oh, yes. So 2024. You were a little worried yesterday about the House. Between Alabama, the redistricting, Louisiana, New York.
Yes, I agree with Ted Lieu and not Chris Lavoie that we will retake the House. Thank you.
We are.
Chris Lavoie's the Eeyore of the Stephanie Miller Show. He always thinks we're going to lose that.
And that's exactly. That's why I'm the Homo of Hope, Chris. I say a minimum of 12-seat majority, but it's going to be way beyond that. Let's talk about Biden. I say he gets Ohio and Georgia early in the night. Show done, party over, and we gain a seat in the Senate. And because everything that is happening right now in front of the eyes of Americans, it's just so clear. And with the Supreme Court, I agree with Malcolm. I'm telling you, it's going to be probably an 8-2 vote. Both cases. Now, Amy Coney Barrett could swing. Here's the thing about her: if she's such a textualist, then she shouldn't even be on that court, because according to the original words of the Constitution, she couldn't be there. But I heard you lamenting. Yes, yeah. So I heard you lamenting yesterday, and when you think about it, everything that has happened, like in the courts since 2020, everything has gone towards
that's
justice
right.
and democracy.
Yeah. I wasn't lamenting. I was just, trying to deflect Chris Lavoie's relentless pessimism, which is why I always have to talk to you, Homo of Hope. Thank you for that gallon of hope.